Thank you. And we welcome you back here to the Academy Series here in GPVWC. It is the third race of the European calendar. What has started over through in Silverstone and in Hockenheim now continues on fourth to the very technical Circuit de Nevers Magny-Cours. Joining alongside with us is Remco de Zeeuw, and alongside with me is two-time FS2 race winner Kert Rohtjarv. Hello Kert, how are you?
Very good, thank you. How about you? And yeah, I really missed having you alongside me. And yeah, as you said, we are back for Academy Series, this time here in France, which isn't our real country. But more exactly, we are in Magny-Cours. So yeah, one of my favorite tracks. So yeah, it's a shame that FS2 isn't here.
Absolutely. One of your favorite tracks is one of my worst tracks in the world. I hope that does not exist anymore. 17 turns proves it to be extremely technical, and with 12 drivers onto the grid, it's going to be a very quick, easy and done qualifying here. 15 minutes is going to be just upon us. Tam L'Enfant, who has raced here before, is making his home debut, I believe, here in the Academy Series. But well, having a look for the field, we've got some David Junt, who has been a race winner, and Juho Sopinen as well, but also some good sayers as well. Rasa Nagam has done very well to clinch a podium a couple of races ago, and well, with that, Haruki Jr. and Rasa Nagam as well have also done some great improvements. So who do you expect to see to come out on top, would you say, Kert?
Really, well, strong grid for today. Definitely David, Joe, and maybe even Mark Anthony will definitely fight for the win. But I wouldn't outline it that we would see any surprise winners, as it's a common thing for Academy Series. So yeah, excited to see how it unfolds.
Absolutely, there has been a couple of previous race winners before. David Young has already added to his collection, and Juho Sappinen, having just recently won in Donington, is going to look to try to repeat that feat, and has been fairly close as of recent. But yeah, as you mentioned before, going to be very interesting, and with the amount of races that we've seen beforehand, that European sort of racing will continue here. Looking through Tom Lafont now, is navigating through turns 7 and 8, going to be going through uphill before, actually no, I think I've got that wrong. I think it is exiting out for the, I'm lost, where are we?
Now, yeah, he is on the back straight and going into turn 15. So now, after this corner, it's the last chicane before the finish line. Yep. Quite tricky.
It is very tricky. Yuri Karkohivil, 133.6. That's going to be the fastest, and it's actually more or less very clear. Juho Sappinen, meanwhile, tops the timing board, 32.7. That is a really strong performance right out from the gate. And Hasselton, the other one that has come very close through qualifying, is the one behind, 2/10 away behind. And David Jans, meanwhile, race winner, he's gone purple for the first 2 sectors with the possibility to improve even more for the third. Takes provisional pole position here in the early stages, 132.5, 1/10 faster than Sappinen. Very, very close qualifying so far, and David Junt and Sappinen and Hazelton is hitting the ground running here.
Seems like so, but here is your Sappinen going through sector 1, 58 thousandths of a second quicker than David Junt, so sector 2 line isn't too far, but it will be, right now, as it stands for now, will be a really good lap if he doesn't mess it up.
Yeah, absolutely. David Young's still going for a second one, but it's about 3/10 off now. So this is going to be down to the Finnish driver's favour as he navigates here through the second corner. As I mentioned before, really technical. Need to try and avoid the curbs and make as use to the track surface as you possibly can, especially through those very tight and long corners there. As you see Juho a little bit excited on the throttle as he navigates through the third sector. It's not a personal best, but maybe it might not be enough coming out for that curb. It's going to go over through turn 14 and is just going to try and wrestle the car as much as he can. Turn 15, my apologies. That's through 16, 17. Very, very close to the curb. His wheels are a little bit off, and it is yellow through that final sector. I think that exit coming out through 13 was what unfortunately didn't do anything for him, as Haruki Jr. has a bit of a sideways, hits the barrier, and that is qualifying run over. That's just, you know, the Filipino really showed how hard it is to navigate through those final 2 corners and, you know, try to keep it onto the ground. But that is really, really close.
Yeah, you just want to keep your speed quite high through there, but yeah, those curves look pretty menacing through those insides. So yeah, it's difficult and yeah, really tricky to navigate through for sure, as it seems.
Absolutely. Brando Torino now, he's going to go for his fly nap now. Nathan Chow has displaced Hazelton for third, and he's done so by 7/100ths of a second. That is really close, and starting to see the battles that are starting to divide between David Junt and Juho Sappinen, Chow and Hazelton, and then riding on board now with Brando and Karkohivil, along with Junior amidst with that battle. So I think with as much as a small qualify is, I think we're definitely going to see some really high-paced action between those groups of drivers, I think.
I wouldn't argue on that for sure, but yeah, it's a bit of shame, but also I understand why we have only 12 races today. In Donington we had 15, I think. And yeah, right now is the summer break and people just want to relax and just take some time off. But when we are through the summer, then we'll see some more drivers for sure.
Absolutely, especially with the tracks that we have lined up that is going to be announced over for the coming weeks. I think that was Rasenagam improving himself up into 6th and displacing Krakowiak and Haruku Jr. down to 7th and 8th. Meanwhile, Brando's navigating through the final 2 corners now. He's got it really stick, but it is yellow on that final sector, and he still remains into 5th with not much of an improvement on him. Roy Hazelton, meanwhile, he was down in, he was up at second at one point, down at 4th, so he's going to try and see what he can muster. It's a personal improvement for the first sector. Is he got anything to string together for the next 2 sectors, I wonder? Oh no, he doesn't. He actually doesn't. Off into the gravel and rejoins, but massive blow to Roy's run, and with 7 minutes and a half left to go, he's definitely got a couple of laps down under his belt if he wishes. But yeah, quite unfortunate there from Hazelton.
Yeah, just you can see very clearly that people are forcing themselves to the maximum, as we see Marc-Anthony Rossanayaga going through Sector 1, 51 thousandths of a second quicker than David Jent. So here is Sector 2 line, and now 2/10 down from David Jent's time as he goes onto the gravel, and that's run over.
Oh dear. And that's very unfortunate there for the Sri Lankan, but still within top 10. In fact, comfortably in the 6th, and still has a chance to outdo his best performance here this season, especially with that reverse grid as well that comes over in race 2. US Upton fastest in Sector 1, personal improvement in the 2nd sector, but not the fastest to David. And the 3rd sector can make or break here. Out through 15, gonna be through 16 and 17. Oh, it's a bit too much on the curb, and he's hit the front wing, and that is gone and gone. But luckily the Finnish driver will have another run under his belt, but that was so close.
His time actually counted. I'm looking right now, so yeah, he somehow got the start finish line, so that time counted.
Yeah, it did count, but he was still slow.
He improved 600, so that's something.
Actually, he did. You're absolutely right. I'm quite amazed. So that's gonna be, I think, that's gonna be a good sign, I think, for Juho, especially after he's hit the wall. Martin Reitberg, the Dutchman, out for the final 2 corners, keeps it on track, and will start his lap now. He's 1.5 tenths off for pole position, challenging over for Pierre de Rome and Haruki Jr., which are about 2 tenths and 4 tenths away from him respectively, and also trying to gain some distance between himself and home hero Tom Lafont, who's sitting over in 11th. Personal improvement there through the 1st sector, as he's going to go through the hairpin, as much as before, through Adelaide. Very challenging, and it's going to be over at 6, and then it's going to be hard braking zone through 7 and 8 of the little smooth chicane of Nürburgring. Keeps it over and just makes it stick, and needs to be very wide for the turn 9, the corner name of 180, and then it's going to swing round right through turn number 10. And then it's going to be out through the small kink out of 11, and it's going to be through one of the straights. It's not quite the back straight, but it's enough to put some in here. Then it's through to Imola, 12 and 13, and then swings round through the Chateau d'Eau in 14. Trying to keep it on early on the fall because it's one of the longest straights on the track here at Bay. Up here, another kink here, but then it's going to be another hard braking zone upcoming through turn 15. It's a very hard right angle. Try to keep it on. You need to try and gather as much speed as you can, but not leave the track as much. And Martin Reitberg improves himself up into 7. That is phenomenal there for the Dutchman, and has done exactly what he needs to do. Nathan Chow, meanwhile, he's gone purple for the 1st sector, 9 thousandths quicker, but he's just lost just that momentum through the 2nd sector, 4 tenths off, and don't think there seems to be much improvement there from Nathan as he's got airborne through the chicane. It is a personal improvement on the final sector, but he still remains in 3rd.
Roy Hazelton, at the meanwhile, currently sitting 4th. But as we can see through Sector 1, he's gone 1/10 of a second quicker than David Jent. So here is the Sector 2 line. Let's see. Now it's quite leveled. So it all depends from his Sector 3, if he can go quicker there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's done very well, Roy has. And again, we've seen people struggle through those final 2 turns, or let alone even get the braking zone for turn 15 right as he goes sideways, but manages to keep hold at bay. And actually, that is an improvement for 2nd for Roy.
Half a tenth of a second slower than David Jent. So, yeah, really close.
Yeah, 800s off, and he's went sideways through turn 15, which means that if he had straightened out just a little bit more, we could have been seeing a new pole sitter here with just about 2.5 of minutes left to go as Pierre de Rome, he himself improves up into 10th, I believe. So it's no, he's been in 9th, so he's been displaced from Martin's slight bigger improvement. So he's going to see what he can do here. But very exciting qualifying session, I must say, Kert. 2.5 minutes left to go.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue for sure. As we saw, Roy Hazelton, who I haven't seen before in Academy Series, just putting himself provisionally into the front row. So yeah, really nice to see that new talent can be quite quick as well. So yeah, will be a very exciting race 1 as it stands for now.
Well, Hazelton has come here and has definitely hit the ground running. There was Haruki Jr. He slowed down, and I don't think he'll have time to set another lap for him. So he's going to be at best for Junior 9th. But Hazelton, meanwhile, he's done very good for the practice. He's the fastest, actually, of the drivers in through the time and screen straight practice here up until this point. Yuri Krakowil displaces Martin Reitberg for 7th. That's going to be very good there for the Czech driver. And places himself just up a bit higher and 200ths away from Tenrino. Juho Sappinen a bit yellow out for the first sector. He's going to need to try and string something together if he wants to be able to catch up to Hazelton and Yunt. If he wants to score his second GPVWC Academy win, he has been very good so far. He has seemed to gain like a lot of good momentum since that win, and he just needs to see something to string all together.
As we've seen, like quite frequently, that sector 2 hasn't been the best for all the drivers, but right now it seems for Suppanen that this lap is invalidated. So he has one more chance.
He does have one more chance, and I think he will definitely cross the finish line before that checker flag drops. It says Hazelton, he's got his wheels off on the gravel trap, and that would have been a faster first sector, and that looks to put his lap through jeopardy, and might hand the pole over to David Yunt, unless if he can rescue it.
Let's see how much he lost. But sector 2, already everyone has been slower than David Yunt, so let's see if Roy can change that now.
Have to see here, is going to be approaching through the second sector very soon, just coming out through the next 2 corners, and that's going to be hairpin. It is 2/10 off, but that means that he is 1/10 behind David Yunt. The checker flag does drop, but for Hazelton, there is something that can maybe be gained through the final sector. Is there anything that can possibly must? Roy out through turn 15, it looks pretty clean, but it's the chicane that we need to worry about. Takes too much curb, gone airborne. It was too much risk, didn't warrant the award. He's still in second.
Well, nice try at least. He went for it.
They can see here for Usopp that he himself doesn't improve. He was 4/10 away from David Yunt. And David Yunt, meanwhile, he's still going on for his run. He's 3.4 for the first sector. Pierre de Rome, he's got himself a personal improvement for the first sector. Just a 5/10 off the second. And I think that might be it and done. Pierre Best would have to be 10th.
As we have also 2 French drivers on the grid. And yeah, it looks like it's not going according to plan for the French, as Pierre de Rome goes P8.
There was David Yunt. I think he was meant to cross the line. Doesn't improve, and it is just about 1/10 faster than Hazelton. It is the improvement that David Yunt has done to cement himself as pole sitter, and Marc-Anthony Rassanagam sideways through the final corner, but no improvement there regardless. Amir Alafi has been a last-minute entrant here, and he's done pretty good. Well, with the personal improvements, of course. It's going to set it off, and he's gone sideways off into the pit entry. He's not going to be able to set a lot of time, so that means he'll be starting from P13. But David Yunt, another pole into his big year in the Academy Series by just about a 10th from Roy Hazelton, who's done fantastic on his GPVWC Academy qualifying debut. And then following off alongside him would be Juho Sappinen with the race winner. That completes for the top 3, and that will be the grid positions for the race upcoming. Outside for the top three, Brando Tenaro in fourth with Nathan Chow in fifth, Mark Anthony Rasanegam in sixth with Yuri Krakowiak in seventh, Pierre de Rome in 8th, Martin Reitzberg in 9th, and Haruki Jr., race winner, over in 10th. Outside the top 10, Tom Lafont in 11th, with Simone Gledarni in 12th, with Amir Afalvi in 13th, with no time set. That has been a very interesting qualifying, I must say. It's been very close calls from people in the top three to try and get that pole position, but as we've seen here before, it is extremely hard to string this circuit together in one perfect sweep, and David Yunt, I must say, showing his experience with that very strong qualifying, I must say.
Yeah, for sure, if your tires start degrading as the time goes on in races, then it will be even harder to put the lap together. So yeah, really easy to make mistakes here, and it's not one of those easy tracks, so a lot of gravel traps which could end your race quite quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Such an interesting track, I must say, even though it has been a bit jeopardizing. It is pretty much a track unlike any other we've seen with drivers here before, pretty much effectively using probably as much downforce as they possibly can, especially through 3, 7, 8, 9, and then 12, 13, 14. So it's not really balanced, but I definitely would say it's probably one of the more difficult and hardest tracks to get right here in the GPVWC ladder as a whole. And for these 13 drivers for that sort of level have done absolutely fairly well. But David Yunt, he himself starts pole position for race 1. It's going to be 14 laps here in the French countryside of Magny-Cours. We'll hope to see it then. Until then, we're going to take a very short break.
Stay tuned.
And a very warm welcome back here to Circuit de Nivea Magny-Cours here. We're just about approaching for our first race here today. 14 laps is going to be ahead of us. David Jont himself has got himself a very good pole position. Another one added to his books this season. He's eyeing for his 6th win this season here in the Academy Series, to hoping to extend his record as the most winningest driver here so far. I must say though, Kurt, it was a very exciting qualifying session that we've just seen here recently.
Yeah. Qualifying was quite interesting, let's say, and yeah, let's not commentate what we did like 5 seconds before going back to live. So yeah, it's gone from my head now.
What a way to cancel. 13 cars are going to be ahead of us. You've mentioned before, Kurt, it is your favorite track, and also as a recent race winner here. What can we expect to see here from the drivers today?
Third year will be from this like very high speed, smooth track. Third year will be a really big factor for sure. As well, it's a common thing that when you drive in third year, you will have less grip in the fronts. So yeah, it will be really difficult if you even lift. You are already just losing very much time to the car ahead. So yeah, it will be really difficult to keep up with drivers here. So, but David will go with a breeze, I think, because he doesn't need to worry about the dirty air or anything like that for now.
Of course. And finally, after all this talk about the Swiss and this 30-car field, and as you mentioned before with Roy and Juho just behind David as well, who do you pose to be the race winner here for race 1, would you say?
I would think we will see a really nice three-way fight between David, Roy, Juho, and maybe even four-way. Maybe someone will join the pack. So you never know. Academy is very unpredictable, and yeah, let's see as the time goes on.
It's the first time ever that we have the field lesser than the laps are going to be counted. 13 cars are going to be here in 14 laps. But just a quick front run through the grid order. David Jont himself puts on a phenomenal pole position here to get himself up into first. And that's a 10th away from Roy Helsington, his debut. He completes the front row in second. Johan Sappinen, previous race winner in Donington. He's going to be third along with Brando Tenero. He's up into fourth. Nathan Choud over in fifth with Mark Anthony Rasenegam in sixth. Yeri Kakoheville in seventh for the Czech driver with Pierre de Rome, one of the French drivers, in eighth. Martin Reitzberg done well to place himself up into the top 10 in ninth, with Haruki Gillo, the Filipino race winner, in 10th. Tom Lafont, the second of the French drivers, in 11th, with Simeone Ghilardini in 12th, and then Amir Alfi, a last-minute entrant, did not set a lap. He'll be starting the row in the race in P13, and that is the row effectively done. 13 cars, not quite the biggest that we've had here in the series so far, but that's not going to make the race any less interesting here, as they're going to navigate here for the second sector here. David Jont going to be starting his parade lap effectively.
Yeah, also one corner will be even more trickier in third year than the others. Will be definitely Imola, so yeah, really dangerous curves on the, well, behind the normal curves, let's say. So yeah, let's see if anyone dies or not. Of course, I don't want to see that.
Of course. David Jont very quick to place himself up into the front row of the grid. Needs to warm up those tires because of the lack of cars. It's going to be very quick down for the lights coming out. Grande Courbe is going to be one of the most unique corners ever in motorsport, which is a very long turn 1, downhill for turn 2. Going to see for the lights up above, how will the Swiss be able to handle from Juho and Roy down just behind? Been very close for qualifying. He's got his works out to try and achieve his 6th win here. As the lights come on, the 5 are on. And we're on the way here at Magny-Cours. It's going to be a pretty good start, but sliding down for the inside. Roy, he's going to look down for a single fall here for turn 1. It's going to be extremely spaced out now, but still we're going to see a bit of challenges here. Mike Anthony Rasenegam has put himself up into 4th. Brandon Tenero down to the 5th. Nathan Chow from 4th all the way to 6th. And we've seen Martin Reichberg also dropping down. Tom Lafont, he's put himself up into the top 10. And that's incredible here. He's put himself up into 9th. Reno Brando Torado is going to be in a mid with Masek and Reginum. They're going to be going side by side here through the first sector already. And it's going to be really close here for the hairpin. It's gone bit deep. And they've dropped a lot of positions here. There's a little bit of collisions going through here. Roy Hazelton has taken the lead from David Yunt. Going to be going 3 wide here. Absolutely incredible. And they still managed to not make contact here. Oh no, there's contact. There is contact. There's people been taking evasive action, but I think it's been fine for now. Tornado's slotting down for the inside. Onto something then. Oh my word, that's so incredible. Jericho Hoofield's going to come over and pick over for the pieces. Going for the second sector now. Almost 3 wide. And no, not quite yet. It's now running down to just 2. Absolutely incredible, Kert.
Brief, I mean, yeah, it's been incredible lap 1 for now, as there is still minor contacts a lot.
Oh, a bit of a bump there from Master Nagam, and that's going to allow himself to drop down just a little bit. Tomla finds that absolutely incredible, though, outside of the top 10. He's now got himself up into 6th. Incredible there from the Frenchman, who was really trying to show off his luck and his driving skill here, especially to his home crowd. But Pierre de Rome and Nathan Chow, who are up in the top 5, they have relegated and have dropped down quickly. And there's collision down the back. That's Gennady got involved. And Martin Reitberg through the final chicane. They must have been airborne a bit before that collision had happened. And that is really, really disastrous. We're going to have to look to see on a replay for that. So Ricky Jr.'s got himself a bit wide, drops down to 9th, and Nathan Chow promotes himself up into 8th.
Yeah, as I just saw from the background that Martin Reitberg went a bit wide through the chicane and just going into the wall, and yeah, others had nowhere to go there. As we see here, Jiriker Dutchville and Brando Tenorio going at it.
Yeah, absolutely. Brandon Tenorio and Krakahivio going to be fighting off, and then the rest of the Negubs now on the midst with Nathan Chow. I think just loses the position through the inside, carries more speed. I think must have made a bit of a mistake, the Sri Lankan driver, and he's now down to 8th. Nathan Chow himself up into 7th. He's going to try and reclaim the balance. Oh, we saw some of that was going off. I think, yeah, that was Nathan Chow. Yeah, and that was very good crash avoidance there from Rasa Nagam to hold on to that 7th, but disaster for Nathan Chow once again. The driver in the top 5 still relegating, and David Yunt, meanwhile, looking on board for him, he has lost it to Hazelton from all this fight that was going on lap 1. So we're gonna have to, so it's gonna be a hectic replay we're gonna see here. But now here we go for the 3rd sector now. Is it gonna be any overtaking moves, possibly from the Swiss? No, he's trying to fend off, looks through the inside, but to no avail, and just slots down behind for the chicane. And yeah, everything's been keeping safe. But Roy Hazelton holds on to the lead. David Yunt in 2nd, and Johan Soppinen in 3rd.
Yeah, still battles going on, and basically everyone is within tenths, not seconds. Oh, David Yunt is really sideways.
What a save from David Yunt through Estoril. 3-3, and here we go. Sideways down from the back here. Tom Lafon and the rest of Nagam is going to be in a battle here for 6th. Still going to be going sideways at the exit of turn 3, and it's going to be through the long straight on Gulf. Lafonta slots behind to try and get a bit of that slipstream here, and you can see in the back Haruki Jr.'s trying to look to push the pistons. Largy Bargy indeed, and Tom Lafont goes spinning and holds it miraculously. Joins back into the racing line, makes contact with Pierre de Rome.
This was a really bad rejoin, but what a save from Dom Lafont as well. But yeah, that rejoin to the racing line wasn't the best time. Just Pierre de Rome, another Frenchman, just getting off guard from Dom Lafont's doings. As we see here, David Yunt and Roy Hazelton going through Imola. David Yunt is really well keeping up with Roy Hazelton and looking for a chance to strike Roy back.
Absolutely. Roy's been fast all practice long. David Yunt put the ground where it mattered most during qualifying, but without that lead, it's going to be effectively off the back foot with a bit of that dirty air. Although Hazelton's just gone a little bit deep, that'll maybe put a bit of advantage to the Swiss driver. And he's also gone airborne a little bit too, but it doesn't seem to affect his pace too much as he still holds on to 4 tenths away from David Yunt. Johan Soppinen still just slotting behind. It's about equal measures here for the top 3. Wow, that was incredible. Tom Lafont and Pierre de Rome, we mentioned it before, that was just a bit eager from Lafont and had effectively a French kiss on track. Out through turn 3, the top 3 go. And David Yunt actually not very fast here for the first sector, and that will allow for Juho Soppinen to rope in the gap a bit.
Yeah, it's interesting to see as well. Roy Hazelton, David Yunt and Juho Soppinen are 5 seconds from Jiri Kratochvo, so it's like McLaren's in F1. So yeah, really, nothing very different.
There with Roy Hazelton though on his GPVWC debut against two race winners in the Academy Series. It's really exciting racing and exactly what the fans definitely would like to see. And see with Roy Hazelton, he's managing the race fairly well, and with that clean air in front, he's got a lot to play for here within the 10 laps left to go. But he needs to try and hold it in because he knows it's not going to be an easy feat through Imola. Turn 12 and 13, it's going to be a breakthrough 14, a very tight hairpin, and then Lomsos to the straight. Coming to look here through the grid slot, Saruki Jr., the biggest place winner, along with Krakowivil, up into 4th and up to 3rd for Krakowivil and Jr. respectively. And David almost has a look down from the inside, but to no avail. Nathan Chow, as we mentioned, lost 5 places now. Oh, and a bit of airborne there from Hazelton, but still manages to hold in once again. Oh wow, this is absolutely incredible, I must say, Kurt.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue again. For sure. Roy Hazelton, David Yant and Jova's opponent definitely going at it right now for the race win. As Jova's opponent is 4/10 of a second from David Yant, as in the meanwhile David Yant is 6/10 of a second from Roy Hazelton. So let's see, is Joho going to make a dive bomb because he's under 1/10 of a second there?
Oh, he has a look. He does have a look, but it's not quite there. I was just having a look for the pedal measures over from Hazelton, just how he flicks it a bit for 3 and just flirts with it ever so much as Hazelton touches himself a bit onto the grass through 8 and 7 and 8 they go. And that will compromise his pace just a little bit, but not too much. Perez-Duro, meanwhile, is on a battle with Tom Lafont. This is going to be for 8th place. The French driver is absolutely going at it, side by side. And then you can see that Nathan Chow's up there to make the pieces. Oh, it's going to be very close, but still giving each other a little bit of racing room despite the contact. And Perez-Duro will have the inside heading through turn 9, which is going to come to the inside eventually for Lafont in turn 10. But with that fast maneuver from Perez-Duro, he's got himself and maybe just about holds on to 8, but still going to be very close and a bit of contact. And Tom Lafont's gone sideways. Perez-Duro has gone off.
Both of the Frenchmen have gone off.
Oh, Tom Lafont's lost his front wing. Perez-Duro, he's out of the camera, but I think that's also damaged to his car. Yeah, they both lost their front wings, and Nathan Chow, lucky, gets himself up into 8th now from those two making contact. And it's unfortunate for the two French drivers who has to come there. David Yunt, meanwhile, has retaken the lead from Roy Hazelton. That must have been through turn 1 that we've missed.
Yeah, but Roy Hazelton is now 1/10 of a second from David Yant, and he's attacking again, side by side, going into the Adelaide corner.
Yep, side by side, exit out through 3, through 4. It's going to be a hard breaking through 5. Who's going to come out on top? David Yunt will have the outside line, swings it around, and they're still going side by side a bit. But David Yunt, it does actually pay off for the Swiss driver. Miraculous move.
Yeah, but it's not over yet. Roy Hazelton is...
Oh, the corner! David Yunt spins around, hits the rear wing, and that's dreadful for the Swiss driver.
We need to see the replay of that, because that was really unclear what happened there. Did David Yant lose it himself? But now, drifting all the way.
Oh, we have someone off in the background.
Who was that?
Off in the background as well. I'm not quite sure who that was.
Amir Al-Harfi, I think.
Ah, right. Okay, that's gonna... Okay, we have a lot of replays to look for here. This is David Yunt's. I think this was just coming through turn 7 and 8. So it's a wonder if he takes too much curve. Loses it before the corner, really.
Yeah,
I think
he
that's
lost it himself.
Yeah, that's
just the rear end slid away. We saw it before. He was drifting like much corners, so I think the rear end just gave way.
There's Amir Alafi. I think this is already on the lap 1. This was the first lap contact, actually. I think that was Reitberg that gone off through the chicane, I believe.
Yeah, that was.
It was, yeah. So looking on board with him, I think he just took too much curb, and we're taking way too much curb here.
Yeah.
He was offset here, and...
Yeah, that's a big impact there.
Not sure if probably turning more would have happened. David Yunt himself is into the pits now. He's going to drop down a couple more positions. Ximeno Goulardi also involved in that collision with Amir Alafi and Reitberg too. David Yunt, I'm not quite sure what's going to come up now, but Hazelton holds on to that lead for now, but Juho Soppanen, who's been in third effectively all the time, and Roy Hazelton a bit touching the grass, and Juho has the chance to make it a second race win here in the Academy Series. Can the Finnish driver manage to pull it off? We're going to have to look, see here. Through turn 14 they go, and it's going to be a pretty long straight up ahead. A slip straight to the Finnish driver's advantage. Is he going to be able to must anything here? We'll have to see. And
it was a really good exit from Chateau.
Hazelton defends pretty brilliantly, I must say. Out through 15 they go, and then it's 16 and 17. And I think Hazelton has probably got the best line for the chicane and manages to bring that gap away from Juho. Very excited racing, must say, as Marc-Anthony Resenegem still in 5th, and oh wow, Tenerero's up in 4th, and Krakohivil in 3rd. So this is going to be very interesting to see how this fight will develop up in about just less than a half of a race left to go.
Yeah, Marc-Anthony Resenegem isn't too far from Brando Tenorio, so P4 for the Sri Lankan will be a really good result. As well as Juho Soppanen and Roy Hazelton is also a really close battle. So only 2 battles for now in this race. As in lap 1 we had everyone within tenths.
Brando Tenorio got a bit wide through turn 4 through Adelaide, and through 7 and 8 they're both gonna go. It's a bit of the dirty air that Marc-Anthony Resenegem has to come back, but he's handled it pretty brilliantly, and by handling it pretty brilliantly, he's managed actually to catch up the gap now back in, and it's a very unconventional line for that corner, but it pays dividends for the Sri Lankan that's now over the back of him.
Yeah, but in the meanwhile, Juho Soppanen and Hazelton are in 3 tenths, but here is Marc-Anthony Resenegem going through Imola, and yeah, he looks for it, but doesn't go for it because the gap is just too big.
Yeah, don't get yourself so Juho Soppanen! Wow, collision there for the final corner, and just about the Finnish driver takes the lead and leads the lap for the first time in this race. A bit of collision there between Roy Hazelton and Juho Soppanen, and Hazelton takes the lead once again with the better line for the chicane, I think. And we've seen a bit of contact here before, but for the lead, that was pretty close.
Looks like just Juho just gave it back because yeah, there was something we didn't see. Maybe off track, just passing. So.
Oh, here's Marc-Anthony Resenegem. He's going to be jumping up before. Oh, a little bit sideways there between himself and Tenerio, and the Sri Lankan is going to hold it to 4th, a bit waving to try and break the toe between himself and Renano. And Adelaide is going to see who's going to break it between him. Wow, Tenerio has late brakes, and Resenegem, he
pushes him wide.
It does push him wide, but just about not enough that the grass will touch. Out through 7 and 8 of Nürburgring, they both go. And Resenegem, I think, will just hold on to that. And Roy Hazelton is now under challenge from Juho Soppanen once again. Through the half of the second sector they go, and it's going to be the third sector. Who's going to place it down? Going to go side by side, and that displaces Hazelton. He has to take a compromise in line. And off he goes, just a little bit. Through turn 14 it goes. Juho just slides himself in, tries to a bit of a cheeky. It is a little bit cheeky. It's just trying to see if he can make a move down for the inside, but not quite. But at least it dispels Roy just a tiny bit. And with the slipstream a bit in Juho's favor, he tries to see if he can do anything for turn 15. He cannot. And 16 and 17 they both go. And Roy still holds on to the lead for now. Wow.
It reminds me of my FS2 race that a car behind me, Victor Bernat, didn't want to go at least a second gap. So yeah, I know the feeling that Roy has right now.
What would you do if you were Roy now? Because Juho has been pretty aggressive so far, and he's trying to pull off all the stops here at Magny-Cours. What would you think be the best strategy for Roy, would you say?
Yeah, just
here go. Yeah,
just
sorry.
And yeah, I wouldn't think about it that much. Just flat out, pedal to the middle and just, yeah, drive your race. Even if the wall comes in your way, just still hold the gas to the pedal. Gas to the pedal.
Yep, Juho Soppanen takes the lead over for turn 8, a little bit sideways outside through turn 8, and that will allow for Roy Hazelton to capitalise through 9 at 180, and Juho tries to look down for the inside. They both go sideways actually through that corner, but Hazelton, I think, just about manages to control it a bit better than the Finnish driver, whilst the Finnish driver needs to slide behind. No, he tried to do it at the same time as last time to displace Roy a bit through Imola, but it hasn't quite worked out. That's so close. Chateau de Zeeuw, they both go through 14. Nothing getting to avail for Soppinen at the minute, and just has to slot down behind with the slipstream.
Yeah, here goes Juho Soppinen side by side into Lichepin.
Oh, it's contact a bit. I think it's exactly the same move that Juho has made a couple laps ago, and Juho will take the lead once again in the closing stages of the race. Just about 3 laps left to go. Nothing is going to ever be displaced between these two drivers. Absolutely incredible racing that we've seen here in the Academy Series in race 1. And Roy trying to look for his first ever Academy race win. And Juho's looking for his second this season. And Roy with a bit of a slipstream now through the back over through 4 in Gulf. Now it's going to be turn 5 in Adelaide. It's going to be really the make or break here, especially through this sort of the coast of the race. He's going to look down for the outside. There's a yellow in sector 1. And Roy's looking for the outside. Juho has to go defensive, and he tries to look for the switchback, but Juho breaks it a bit on the apex, holds it off for the lead.
Yeah, Juho saw it, that Roy was going for a different line, but still no contact going into 180. Side by side. Juho has the quicker line.
Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. He goes a little bit wide. No, he actually does. That is so close. Wow, these two drivers are really giving a run for their money here.
A little
bit of a nudge from Roy. Just a bit out of turn 9. It's going to go for Imola. There's nothing that's going to be breaking between them. Definitely harsh, but...
Oh, Juho is wide.
Juho's got him inside. Was coming out for turn 14. And now look for Hazelton to take the advantage over through 14 to take hold of the lead. And I think we'll just about hold it for now. But those two's fight. Crockyville is slowly catching up, but it's still 2.5 seconds. So these two can pretty much effectively fight as much as they want.
Yeah, it's still not over yet. As Juho now got a better exit from the chicane, but yeah, definitely not going into Grande Courbe. Maybe in Estoria.
Well, he was trying it, but with that bit curb in 3, it's very hard to do it. And I think Hazelton knows that a bit. I think both of them have got really, really close to what could have been really bad. But David Young himself promotes himself into the top 10 now. Bev Slipstream now with Juho Soppinen now. I'm looking for the outside now of turn 5. Is there anything going to be made there for the Finnish driver at all? Is going to be very close. How's Hazelton's going to be able to defend this? Still holds it, just a little bit of a push, but not quite. And Juho takes the lead once again with 2 laps to go. That is incredible racing we're seeing here.
Yeah, it's still not over yet. Roy doesn't want it ending like this, so really hectic battle between them.
What's the collision there for turn 9, Roy, but still puts on his brakes as they exit out through turn 10, through the kink on 11, turn 12 and 13. We know how dangerous it could be going side by side here. They are doing it. It's going to be going side by side, and it will allow for Roy to be able to capitalize through 14 in Chateau de Zeeuw. Is it going to be to pull it off? Juho has a bit of the outer line, so he'll be able to carry more speed and a little bit of contact between those two once again. Side by side, Roy Hazelton has just got about the advantage here, but Juho Soppinen will have the outside line through turn 15. He'll able to carry more speed. If he's able to control it, he might be able to. Oh, it's a bit of a push, and Hazelton takes on the lead with the chicane. Wow.
Or does he? Going into Grande Courbe. Is Juho going to try going through the outside or in Estoril?
Yeah, Crockyville, meanwhile, it's 1.8 tenths. So all this fighting has effectively cost them nearly an entire second at this point. And Hazelton's just hogged in through turn 3 of Estoril. And Soppinen tries to take the race line, but has to slot down behind. He has to because of the slipstream advantage that he needs to be able to get. And there we go, he's going to use the
inside line through.
The inside line here.
Now.
Guys, look at here, through outside, through here. And I think with enough speed he'll be able to pull off. He does pull it off. Roy Hazelton slots in just behind for the slipstream through turns 7 and 8. He needs to try and compromise Juho Soppinen's line. He doesn't quite do it. Juho slots into the racing line before turn 9, and that will give him the advantage. He got sideways. Oh wow! And he just about holds it, but Juho, I think with the control already in his hands, still holds on to the racing. I cannot believe it. I can't believe he threw himself like that and still manages to hold on to the race. Wow, that is incredible.
Am I seeing the cartoon cars again?
So 12 13, I think, Juho Soppinen and Roy Hazelton still hardly anything, breaking off between each other. Exit out for turn 14. And Kieran Crockyville's now in the background. Now he's going to be a chance for this fight now.
What the hell is going on?
Third 15, they go! Hazelton just about enough! No, he's not quite enough to carry enough speed! Juho Soppanen holds it off, but I think Hazelton has a better entry, and now heading over for the final lap now! Going to go for turn 1, they're both going to be going side by side! They collide a little bit!
Side by side first, really?
Yeah, Hazelton's going to go a little bit outside, Jurgen Carville trying to look through! Juho Soppanen's gone off! Oh, he's gone off! Oh, he's collected people! Oh my word, that's incredible! And Jurgen Carville's now the leader, I think! Yes, he is! He is! Oh my word! Oh my word! Oh, it's unfortunate there for the Finnish driver and for Hazelton as well. What's been an incredible fight for the past 7 laps is now been taken away from them from Soppanen's egotistic, opportunistic maneuver, I must say. But these two are going to still be fine for second place now. And yeah, with that lead, yeah. Oh, wow.
Oh, still a little contact there.
Yeah, it's a, yeah. I don't blame Roy a bit if it's the lead taken away, but yeah,
it's a racing incident, I would say.
Yeah, I would take it as a racing incident, but I can understand the anger of that position here. As he's going to go for 13 and 14 in Imola. He's going to dive down the inside through 14 for Juho. I think it might be a bit too deep because Hazelton will have the better speed and going to be clobbering holding side by side. Hazelton has the inside line, Juho has the outside line, similar to what we've seen a couple of laps ago. And I think just about Juho will have it a bit, and Jurgen Carville crosses the line, and he'll take his win. And Juho Soppanen just about fends off for Roy Hazelton to take second place. Meanwhile, outside the picture, Marc-Anthony Rasenegum, he finishes the line over in 4th. That is a really good performance there from Sri Lankan, and Haruki Jr. also picks up the pieces for 5th. And Nathan Chow, upon his recovery, he doesn't lose any positions after his qualifying position for 6th. Brando Tenorio in 7th, with Pierre Dorome, the fastest French driver, now in 8th, with Tom Lafont in 9th, and David Yunt with his rear wing gone, he manages to finish over in 10th. And Simeone Gilardini in 11th, and Amir Alafi with his first lap incident, he finishes off in 12th. That was an incredible race, I must say.
Oh, yeah. Wow. I'm out of breath as well. Now I know what you feel like, so yeah. I need to catch my breath. So
yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it was pretty good. Jerome Lafont, Yunt, Gennady and Alafi also had to be in the pits as well, so it was effectively a very interesting race to see here. But meanwhile, have to look for the replay to see what happened with Juho. And here we go. He's in the inside line. It's now swings down to the outside line. I think it's a bit too eager the throttle. I think it's been a bit too eager the throttle. If possible, just need to see the onboard of Juho. Just want to have a look at his throttle inputs. Yeah, that's
you have
to be very careful for turn 3.
Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah, I think he knew he lost it a bit, but I think he was still trying to hold it up into top, and effectively, yeah, it's not unfortunate. It is pretty unfortunate there. Roy Hazelton knew that Juho was coming down for the outside, so he's trying to look down for the inside line. I think it was a bit of the touch of the gravel. He tries to avoid it, but then ends up getting caught by Yuri in the process. And then Yuri, I think, has done pretty good for crash avoidance down for the back. I think he sees what's happening and just fends off a bit. He has a look for Hazelton, and then Hazelton's off in the fight. Yeah, it's accelerating for the thing. Oh, wow. And if Yuri had accelerated for the grass, that would have been his race over too.
Yeah, then the winner would be very unpredictable there.
Wow, incredible. The Czech driver gets his, first win here in the French soil, and with that, Juho Soppanen completes another podium onto his book here in the Academy Series. Roy Hazelton has done very good for his first appearance, fighting all the way up in the lead. The best that he can manage, though, is 3rd, but I think he'll still be good chance for a win over in the next race. Marc-Anthony Rasenegum's done very well to pick up the pieces over 4th, along with Haruki Jr. for 5th. Nathan Chow himself has done well, over being back outside the top 10 from his starting position, claws back up into 6th. Brando Tenorio in 7th. For him, he's done pretty good. Pierre Dorome and Tom Lafont has picked up damage after their collisions, and it was Dorome that came up on top of Lafont in their French duel. David Yunt, who looked poised to pretty much win the race in contention with Hazelton, had his rear wing come off, and the best that he could manage was a top 10 finish. Outside for the top 10, Amir Alafi in 12th after that first lap. Simeone Ghilardi and Amir Alafi been involved in that first lap collision with the repairs. They finished 11th and 12th respectively, and Martin Reitzberg picked up too much damage and had to retire in 13th. Incredible racing, I must say, for the second half of the race here for the leaders between Soppinen and Hazelton, which means that it's going to be even more exciting for the reverse grid. Have to see with Reitzberg starting for pole position here with Alafi over completing the front row. Any closing thoughts just before we go to the break, Kert?
Yeah, I want to get some oxygen again.
Second, the Neve Magny-Cours, proving why it is Kert's favourite and the favourite among a lot of others. A phenomenal racing here that we've seen here in race 1. We'll shortly join you back here for race 2, but until then we're going to take a very short break. Don't go anywhere, see you soon. Been a very exciting Magny-Cours race that we've seen from race one. It's been probably one of the most thrilling races that we've had in the Academy Series here in 2025. And we've come out here with a new race winner in Yuri Kert. He is one of the, well, he's actually the second, I believe, Czech driver to win in this series so far, followed by Alex Day beforehand. But after which, Martin Reitberg will be starting from pole position now with the reverse grid in place. It's going to be 13 cars we're expected here once again. And I must say, Kert, what an exciting race one that we've had.
Yeah. Now the grid is reversed, so top 13 every driver we have. Otherwise, it's top 15 drivers will be reversed, as now Martin Reitberg will start on pole position. And yeah, this time 5 seconds before the live, we didn't do anything that would get us cancelled, so don't worry.
Yes, absolutely. The audience will be extremely thrilled that we have here a family-friendly GPVWC broadcast, especially with the staff and with the races and all. Definitely nothing suspicious at all going here. Please don't at us. Well, we must say with the Martin Reitberg has been in pole position before in FS, I think it's FS2, I believe, and will be doing so here. Do you think with that experience that he's had previously in pole positions that he'll be able to pull off something here?
Yeah. So now, definitely the reverse grid will be more difficult. I've experienced it myself because I've come from Academy Series myself as well. So yeah, it isn't definitely easy. Yeah, so it's a bigger chance that you won't even make it to the top in race 2 as well from back of the grid. So yeah, will be interesting to see. But yeah, right now it's very unpredictable who is going to be the winner.
And a bit of touch over for Royal Hazelton as well. Has done really well to hit the ground running, fastest in practice, second fastest over in qualifying, and caps it off with a third in race 1. What can we expect for him to see in a reverse grid, especially since Juho Soppanen is behind him as well as Jukka Kahivil, but also David Junt, who gave him a lot of trouble, is also going to be higher up as well.
P4, I think.
Yeah. He's finished 10th, so that means he'll be third now or fourth now coming this race. So, what can we expect to see from Hazelton and co?
Yeah, as I said, definitely from Hazelton, it's going to be quite difficult, starting from B10. So yeah, let's see.
I think we're just getting here on the time screen. 12 drivers are going to be on the grid. I'm not quite entirely sure who exactly we're missing, but I think we've lost one, but I think we should be fine. Still, Martin Breitberg will still hold on to that pole position, and also Fabian Lionsson. I think it's the first time ever that he's been up so far up the grid order. Amir Alfie, the highest that he ever got was, I think 4th or 5th on his first race. So he's also going to be experiencing some new territory as well, the Syrian driver. So that's going to be interesting as well to see how that will develop between those company. And David Junt in third, just behind. So we are missing the driver that finished in 11th.
Which was... Oof. Yeah, I do not know who that was. So need to look it up after.
Simeone Galadini is who we're missing off today. So
the debut.
Yeah, so has unfortunately there for the Italian has missed out here for once again, but it's going to be a Dutch to take the pole position. It's going to be, well, the second time here in Magny-Cours that we're going to have a Dutchman up in the front row, but it's a change now because now it's a Dutchman that takes the pole position here from the reverse grid order. Upon with that DNF in lap 1, he'll be very happy to know that he has a full clear track up ahead of him. And Matt Alfie, the Syrian, will finish over in second place. He was also involved in that lap 1 carnage, so he'll be good for him. Davion did very well to boost up into the lead up until his rear rank. He'll be third. Tom Lafont is going to be the highest placed French driver in 4th. Pierre de Rome just behind him in 5th. And Brando Tenerio done really well within navigating through that in 6th. Nathan Cow in 7th. I've got his name correct. Apologies for that, Nathan. And Haruki Jr., the Filipino, in 8th. Mark Anthony Rasanega done very well to climb up through the field in 9th, with Roy Hazelton in 10th. We're going to have to look out for him to see how he'll never get up the field, with Juho Soppanen in 11th, beating Roy through 2nd place, and Yuri Kirkhahivil just about fending off, not fending off, but pretty much capitalizing from Hazelton and Soppanen's incident through the final lap to take his first win here in the Academy Series, and the second ever for the Czech country. And wow, I must say, still Juho and Hazelton are still amidst in that fight together. The difference is they're both on the back foot. David Junt will be a little bit pleased to know that he's got a big advantage compared to those two. But Reitberg and Alfie, we haven't quite seen how they'll be able to, navigate an environment such as the front row in the Academy Series. What would you expect out of that?
I would say Martin Reitberg. He has a lot and I mean a lot of experience here in Academy Series, and hasn't had really the luck of getting up to next series. So yeah, it will be interesting how much of his experience Martin can use. So yeah, it will be an interesting race. But yeah, Amir El-Khafi for a, well, quite a newbie.
Yep, absolutely. Lights are coming on here. Maite Reitberg on the front row with Amir El-Khafi down in second. Who's going to be the one that will be able to capitalize? The lights are off and now we're underway here for race 2. A dream start for David Yunt. Meanwhile, he's jumped himself up into second. Alfie's now meanwhile on the back foot with Derome and Lafont just behind. That's going to be a big battle over for fourth there. And I think Tom Lafont will be able to capitalize up into fourth. Yes, he does. The Syrian drops down from second all the way down into fifth. And David Yunt, meanwhile, has got himself a dream start up into second. Exactly what he needs between Reitberg. And then here we go, Hazelton now. He's making his charge throughout the field now. Up from 10th now is up into 7th. And Nathan Cow has got work for him for company. David Yunt, meanwhile, has got the lead before turn 5. And that is incredible there for the Swiss driver. Exactly what he needs to do. And Tom Lafont, the French. Oh, we've got someone spin off in the background. I think that was... That might have been arrested. Yeah, that's Yuri Karkov, the race 1 leader. Has unfortunately gone off the grass, but I think is still running. But meanwhile, for the back here, Tom Lafont having a try to look down for the inside of Reitberg. I think we've seen a bit of smoke. I think we've seen a bit of smoke coming out from the background. And there we go, Alfie and Haruki Jr. in the battle there for P7. Alfie's actually dropped now. Yuho has promoted himself up into 8th. And Roy up into 6th.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Simon Chilardini has said in the YouTube chat that his PC has gave up. So, yep, that's unfortunate. So yeah, I hope to see him after the summer break now. Should be.
Training this race as a learning curve, I believe that he said a couple of hours before. So Data's been a pretty good share. Then Nathan Cow, meanwhile, has done pretty well to hold on into 5th position. As just going to be in the midst of this fight that was going a bit wide. And then Lafont has to go sideways. I think we have seen someone else going off. I think that was Lafont. Lafont was up in the 3rd at one point, and now he's dropping, and he's retired. And that's also from the first lap the chicane that we were talking about as well. How so hard, so easy it was to just lose it. And
that's Roy Hazelton is B3.
Wow, he up into 3rd. That's incredible there from the Dutchman. It now makes it a Dutch 2-3 as it stands. And Reitberg has got a bit of defending to do if he wants to try and hold that off. Have to look here, going through turn 5. Everyone here makes it just very clean. I think we're seeing it just a little bit sideways in the back. I think that was Cow just behind, but still manages to hold off. But Hazelton is going to need to make the move on through Reitberg sooner rather than later. Reitberg, I think, just loses it, but still holds on. But loses a bit of positions here, has to be very careful on where to rejoin. He's going to take off the access road, does so sensibly, but drops out so many positions in the process.
Yeah, we have a new definition of Flying Dutchman, and that is Roy Hazelton, it seems.
Absolutely, has done incredible in the span of 2 laps, gained 8 positions. And look at that Dagen van for the inside. Juho Sappinen, he's going to try and follow the same trail as Hazelton now. It's not climbing up as many orders as the person that he's fighting just a few laps ago, but he knows he needs to make something sooner rather than later, because who knows how long Hazelton will be able to fend off from Yunt. But here we go, Nathan Cow looking through P3 against the road, a bit sideways here coming through. Oh god, that's a bit of a contact here for the chicane. Gone airborne, and Jerome holds it, but it drops down so many positions down for the process. It's all the way down to 7th for Pierre. Oh no! Sideways, and Pierre holds it in a Tom Lafont-esque spin, and he holds it off. Oh, that's Reitberg dropping down in the order now. We've got a couple of people dropping down, so Krakovia, Derome, and Reitberg.
Yeah, very, very hectic races. Let's see the gap between Roy Hazelton and David Yunt already. It's 1.8, so it seems like David Yunt and Roy Hazelton are quite similar pace. So yeah, Roy needs to push a bit more here. But here we see Juho Sappinen going in a freeway fight for P4 as he stands in P6 for now.
Yeah. Unfortunate for the mistake that he's had over in turn 3. He needs to try and pick up the pieces as much as he can, not making as much progress, but it's still giving it his all. Juho manages to overtake Randano for 5th, and exactly what the Finnish driver needs. Is going to be going slow, but definitely making his pickings over through turn over for the third sector. Yuho goes. Oh, and a bit touch of the grass, and that's not going to be much to his advantage. It's going to be under pressure from Tenorio. Not exactly what Yuho really wants, but still just about fends off. Here we go in the background. There's Unique Argiville. This is going to be the battle for Sirius. He's going to overtake Alafi. And he overtakes the Syrian driver. Jerome also going to overtake it. He needs to take evasive action. Through the hump he goes and loses the position in the process. But yeah, it's a bit of a fight there, but it's quite unfortunate for Alfie, I must say. And here we go, we have to look for the replay. This is the first lap incident here with Tom Lafont. This is going to be coming out for the chicane. And yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, it didn't actually lose it for the chicane. He just lost it from the back of Reitberg. I think... I wonder if he was trying to aim for a track that Reitberg was there and he tried to take evasive action. Let's see.
Oh,
yeah.
There was a minor contact, actually.
There was a minor contact. I'm looking at his brake pedals. I think he might have braked a bit too much for it, and unfortunately that will allow for the Frenchman to retire. This is a yearly. This was happening just before turn 5, and this is where we see the spot in the background. Look at that dive bomb there. He was really opportunistic, but yeah, too eager on the frontal, and then just simply loses it. But wasn't the end of the world for him, as he's managed to pick up the pieces, and what used to be from 11th now up to 7th. So very good there for the Czech driver. Yeah, it was just too early on the accelerator for him. Yeah, Adelaide's is a hairpin that you really need to be careful of. And here was Reitberg that we've seen just going off track. This is through turn 1 and then coming through 2. That was the Rome in the background. That was the Rome in the background, and Reitberg just simply loses it coming out free. I'm not quite sure if that was a reaction or not from the Dutchman, but loses positions in the process regardless. And the pole sitter now sitting over at 11th. David Yunt still holds onto the lead between himself and Hazelton. It's 1.6 seconds, and Nathan Cow, he's doing very well, the American, in 3rd, and Haruki Jr., the Filipino, over.
Yo, what's up when I'm going around
the outside here. Look at us on board with him now. And out through turn 3 they go. That was a very opportunistic move there from Yuho, but with the slipstream able to his advantage. Going to be looking for the outside line through turn 5 of Adelaide. A little bit of a push. It's almost not getting even enough racing room, I think. Maybe breathing room. Oh, a bit of contacts over for the wheels. That allowed Yuho to momentarily go a bit airborne. But Haruki Jr. holds on to 4 for now.
Yeah, it's a very hectic fight between Juho Soppinen and Haruki Jr. They are... Basically, it seems like they want to really go side by side through every corner there is, but not through here yet.
Through turn 9 they go. Apologies for the silence, I'm trying to drink some water too. After the hectic race of race 1 that we've seen, and another hectic race in another hectic early opening here in race 2, and then we're going to see another extravagant overtakes here from Yuho, as goes again a bit sideways here for Ricky Jr. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle, and now looks for the inside line. Oh, that was way too opportunistic here for turn 14, but not luckily doesn't really affect either of the drivers yet, and that could have ended very horribly for Soppinen, but still, he's still got his car on track, as well as Haruki Jr.
Yeah, a very lucky escape there. It just seemed like Guillaume already lost the car a bit in the exit of Imola. So, yeah, just then when you are out of control, then you're just a bit... it's difficult to slow down. As we have a sector 1 yellow flag, and that's Brandon Tenorio.
Yuho's gone sideways, looking for the inside of turn 3. Did not work for the Finnish driver, and has to just hold back in for now. That's Brandon Tenorio. Another retirement here. So we have 3 retirements in this race so far. This is going to be the replay to see what exactly happened to Brando. This is going to be coming through turn 15, and at 16 and 17. It's effectively the def chicane at this point. He's gone a bit sideways, and it's similar to Reitberg that we've seen earlier.
Yeah, just taking a bit too much curve through 17 and just flinging you into the barrier there, so... Oh, so close, but yeah, still too wide.
It didn't really try to brake to make it. I think it tried to see how much he can make it with as much throttle as he possibly can. It didn't really work for Brando, so it didn't really work. And there we go, Juho's up in here. This is going to be going 12 and 13 for Imola, and almost had the move before a lap prior. The collision between himself and Junior. The lap prior, he manages to hold off and just sticks behind, and will have the slipstream to his advantage up before turn 15. He's going to look for the inside move now this time. And, ooh, Haruki defends pretty good from Soppinen, and that is very, very good, I must say. A little bit of advantage for Haruki for the chicane means that he'll be able to hold off this fourth place for now.
As your opponent did not lose much time, but as you could see here, Haruki Jr. a bit sloppy through Estoril, so rear end is a bit slippy, so it's a lucky escape from there that he didn't lose
Slippery.
it.
Slippery indeed through turn 4, indeed, and Yuhu's now going to be going side by side, inside line through turn 5 in Adelaide. It's going to be a very opportunistic hairpin. I don't think, yeah, he makes the move, but I wonder, did he make the apex before that move? I wonder. I wasn't quite sure.
He didn't. They were quite far from the apex, actually.
They were both quite far from the apex, yeah, so that what caught me a bit off guard. But Yuho makes the move up into 4th, and Cal's going to be the only thing in his way for 3rd, which is going to be could be doable in about half of the race distance. But looking up ahead, Hazelton did catch up to David Yunt by 1 second, but that is pushing just a little bit more for Yunt, as he's now 2/10 away from Roy, as Mark Anthony Rasadegan pushed everything he can through Imola, just gone a little bit off the track outside of turn 13 and breaking here through turn 14. It's going to just try to see if he can make a move on Haruki Jr. Halfway through the race, pretty exciting stuff here.
Yeah, I won't argue on that for sure, but not as hectic as race 1 was, but still quite close battles.
Looking here for the movement here, Reitberg and Alafi, the 2 front rows have been involved in amongst in separate incidents to drop themselves down to 9th and 10th respectively. Hazelton meanwhile has gone 8th the opposite way from the back off 11th up into 2nd for Hazelton, and Soppinen is trying to follow suit with his overtake on Cal very soon. But look here with Vasanekam making the move onto Haruki Jr. This is going to be very interesting to see here. Out through turn 4, and Atsley going to be going side by side. This is exactly the Hazelton and Soppinen fight that we were talking about a bit earlier, and it's going to navigate through 7 and 8, but I think Rasanega will have the advantage, yes, and Haruki Jr. slots in behind for the time being.
Very nice move. Just got a bit sloppy exit from Adelaide, but still held on to it, and it seemed like Haruki just left it a bit, not to make a really dangerous moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he knows, conceding for the line is a lot better to prolong the race, especially if you're not very confident. As Haruki track accelerates just a bit, and with that acceleration, it's so slippery, not really grippy, and almost loses it once again, but still with that very fast reflexes, holds his car on track for the time being, and we're seeing these GPVWC Academy drivers at their very best.
For sure. Well, most of the times, well, Academy hasn't been the cleanest, but right now, all the time, yeah. But yeah, today it's something special. So
absolutely, this is truth in here why the Academy Series is the best ever series in the GPVWC ladder, and everyone should watch no matter what. Ricky Jr. now with a bit of the slipstream against Vasanega now. I think it might be looking maybe for the outside line. It's very hard to tell to see. It could really go any way, but it just needs to slot down behind for the time being and wait for his turn very soon to apply his pressure. Looking back there, Yeka Carville's done very well. Starting from 12th to gain so many positions up into 7th. Kicking the dust up in the air from Rasanegam up ahead. So he's definitely feeling that pressure. But talking about Yuri though, he's done very well so far this race.
He's, after race 1 mishap from Adelaide exit, he's brought himself back into P7, so yeah, really well done, and it really shows that Shiri has some pace as well.
Yeah, absolutely, he's done very well since his early begins here in the Academy Series to come on to become a race winner and what was effectively incredible chaos avoidance. And it has surely paid off dividends here for the Czech driver. And slotting down here for Haruki and Rasanegam that are just ahead. There's a possibility we might see similar talents from the Czech driver very soon, if anything is to muster between the people ahead for 5th and 6th. Meanwhile, Soppinen is now down to just under a second between himself and Cal. Oh wow, that's Haruki kicking a bit of dust, and Yuri will surely be able to take advantage now through turn 1. We have to see here, going for the Grand Corbe they go. And no quite moves yet. Yuri's still trying to look for the inside. It's not quite yet making a move. Got a bit sideways for 2, but holds it for the time being. And Haruki Jr., I think he feels it and is still just trying to hold in and slot behind yellow in sector 1. Not really much seen here going on, but here we go. Yuri Kekohivil now going side by side, the outside line through turn 5. This is very opportunistic.
Oh, they are bumping wheels.
Ooh,
Yuri is quite sideways.
Now. Yeah, I think a bit too early the accelerator or acceleration onto the curb for Yuri means that he gone sideways and just has to concede for time being. Oh, wow, what a tag slapper there from Haruki Jr. But still holds it to keep it on track, and Yuri does the same thing once again. Wow, incredible.
For the reason yellow in sector 1 is Amir Al-Hafi, who has unfortunately retired from this race.
That's the third retirement that we're seeing here, and it's just about only 4 laps or so left to go. I have to look for the replay on that. See navigating for the Chateau d'Eau, and Yuri has done very well to navigate through that corner, but not quite. But the two that to battle up more, Anthony Rasadega pretty much cements his 5th position. 3 laps left to go. As a bit of a kick on the curb out for turn 15. See that elevated curb and how much it upsets the car and how much you need to react very quickly in order to keep the car on track. It's exactly what Yuri and Haruki have done and is effectively the masses of through these last few laps. Oh, and Haruki just goes a bit wide coming out through turn 2 and 3, and that will allow for Yuri surely to be able to have an advantage here. You think he'll make a move here, you think, Kert?
Yeah, 3/10 is nothing through Golf here. Not Volkswagen Golf, it's the corner name, of course. And going into Adelaide now. Side by side, and it seems like Haruki got the better exit from Adelaide, but they are going side by side into Nürburgring.
Oh, this is going to be interesting to see, because one of their lines is definitely going to be compromised. Yuri is trying to budge a little bit to see if he can get anything to budge. He really can't, and Haruki knows this and capitalizes it to retain 6th. Yuri maybe looks for the outline through 180, but doesn't quite work. Again, exciting racing that we're seeing here, Kert.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm losing my voice a bit. I don't know why, but yeah. It isn't as worse as race 1 was, but still, Haruki Jr. and Rohtjarv, the fight continues.
Yep, so just looking here for the board, Supplement's catched up to 6th as between himself and Cow, and Hazelton and Yunt has effectively flatlined for that pace. It's only going to come down to 1.2 tenths. Maybe if anything can muster there, it'll be pretty much a miracle there for Hazelton, but it might be too much for the Dutchman to be able to handle to catch up to the Swiss driver. And we're looking at the Swiss's 6th race win here in the Academy Series this year, which is effectively incredible for the driver here. And we're having to see here with Yuri Kekohivil hogging through turn 3. I think might have a bit of the better exit as Haruki needed to take the wide line in order to compensate for something. And here we go, Yuri's now looking for the inside line through Adelaide. We've seen here moves made here previously before, and the cutback from Haruki Jr. was effectively what made him retain 6th position. Is it going to be here? Yuri learns from his lesson and holds down for the inside line to surely be able to take 7th, 6th, but we have to see here for the Nürburgring if it's going to be going side by side. It is still going to be going side by side, so both of the lines are going to be compromised, but who's going to come out on top? And Haruki Jr. just about cuts the corner in order to make something happen. Through turn 9 they go, and it's still going to be very close. Yuri has to just hold off to keep his car on track and not lose it, and Haruki Jr. still once again holds on to 6th.
As Juho Sopanen and Nathan Cow 4/10 of a second apart from them, 2/10 now. And Yuri Kekohivil,
oh, is that someone off? We have someone off in the background. And looking here for US up and now, this is going to be the battle for 3rd. So this is going join with Hazelton now for 8 places gained here. And looking down for the inside of turn 15. Not quite anything working here for Yuho, but he'll still just have about another lap left sort to go. Yuri Kekohivil, meanwhile, look at this. Oh, and Haruki Jr. a little bit of contact there. And that could put Yuri Kekohivil in a tag slapper. I think he's lost his front wing. No, he hasn't lost his front wing. There's no damage whatsoever. But that made him drop a position though.
Yeah, that was not a good idea going side by side through the chicane there. The curves are deadly, and now we have our confirmation of that.
Yeah. It was a very opportunistic move that did not pay off in the end for the Czech driver, but the replay there, that was Marc-Anthony Rassenegem running in 5th alone. So that was the car that went off track here. We'll see what happens to the Sri Lankan. This is coming through Imola. Oh, he's gone off. That looks like to be a wheel disconnector. No, it's not it might be. It might be.
I think he just corrected a early tank slapper, I think.
I'll have to see. Let's have a look here. This is coming for Imola. It's a really difficult. No. That's
okay. Very weird.
That is very weird. But he still manages to keep it on track. And looking for the timing screens, he still holds on to 5th for the time being. So I'm not quite sure what's happened here.
I think he wanted to gain some time, but I think he lost more.
Final lap though, Hazelton has catched up to 2/10 though, and look at this, Juho Sapinen all over the back of Nathan Cow now. This is going to be going from the final lap of the race between those two, and Hazelton has managed to get in within a second between himself and Junt, but Junt is too far.
Oh, Hazelton is not.
Hazelton, he's cut it, not cut it, he's gone far too wide, effectively pushing as much as he possibly can, but it doesn't work for the Dutchman. And I think that all cements the Swiss driver's 6th win here in the Academy Series. But it's not all done yet, as Nathan Cow and Sapinen still battle for 3rd. And Haruki Jr. holds off from Krakauhifield for 6th up ahead. And here we go. This is going to be the last chance for this Finnish driver to see if he can get double podiums here in Magny-Cours. It's going to be quite a good achievement for this Finnish driver, especially for effectively what could have been with his battle with Hazelton earlier on. A little bit sideways for the Finnish driver. See if he makes it. Looks at this contact for the inside of 180. This is going to be a brilliant move, and this actually sticks, and it's going to be going side by side on the exit there. Will he be able to hold it in for Imola? If he does, then he might actually have a chance. Let's see here. No, he doesn't, and Nathan Cow just about holds off.
Still a chance on the back straight.
Oh, locks up! And another similar move that we've seen here previously. And Juho Sapinen is going to be going side by side. We'll have the inside line, but I think with that collision, just about holds off. David Young crosses the line to take it away from Hazelton. But look at this, Juho Sapinen holds on to the inside line, turn 15. Another bit of collision for turn 16 and 17. Nathan Cow tries to come to the inside. Juho Sapinen's been spun, and that will allow for Nathan Cow to take the podium, I believe. And Juho Sapinen tries to climb back up, but the best he can do is, yeah. That was, I can understand Juho's frustration. It's similar to what we've seen with Krakauhifield and Haruki Jr., which ends up costing Krakauhifield, but this one ended up costing Juho Sapinen, and that in turn promotes Rassenegem to 4th, and Nathan Chow to 3rd after. Yeah, let's have a look at the replay here to see this analysis here.
It's David Junt, just crossing the line.
It's David Junt crossed the line, and yeah, from P3, and with his great performance, Hazelton tries to cut the corner to try and gain some time, but that.
Oh my god.
I have no idea why he cut the corner bells. But here we go. This is the battle for 3rd up ahead. So Juho holds down for turn 15, and then this is going to be there's not a gap, there's no gap there for Cow to really dig into. It's on the racing surface.
Yeah, Nathan just went to a place where no space is given, so yeah. I think that's on Nathan, unfortunately.
But I want to see the overtake on 14 though, between the contact between Juho and Nathan though, because I wonder if that might have been, dare I say, an incentive for Nathan to make that move. But it's also in a battle with Prix too, so 14 just a lap prior. Sorry, Remco. Thank you. I know Remco is a fantastic. No. This is fine. This is fine. Thanks. Thank you. No, this is fine. This is fine. No, stop. Sorry, I should have said stop. Can you fast forward just a bit? Remco's been amazing here for broadcasting director, so thank you. Stop. Thank you. Yeah, so this is the move that happened to allow Juho to take the lead from Nathan, effectively, and it was effectively the same maneuver that we've seen him done before. I think. So this is coming off from Imola, and was that on?
That's a late
He locked
lunge.
up. It was a late lunge, and he locked up, but it gave him the momentum to hold on. So that's what I'm trying to see here. So, yeah. So just a bit back, Remco. Just a bit back. Thank you.
Yeah. That's enough.
So this is the replay. This is the replay here that I'm trying to analyze. But this is effectively what holds on to the lead. He locks up, which it's not. I know it's not done on purpose. He tries to.
He corrected. Yeah.
He corrected the thing and a spin. I don't think that overtake was there. I understand. It's the same thing with Nathan. You can understand in a driver's mindset for the opportunistic move, and then you can see there it was a bit of a nudge and barge between those two, and then effectively, I feel that animosity carried through to the next sort of corners.
Well, to be honest, it's sort of kind of a move that I would do on last lap, but I'm not saying that I'm a bad driver. But no. if you want a podium or a win, then it's just worth it.
Yeah, it's risk that you have to make, and Juho rejoining on track like that is effectively trying to get back onto the track as quickly as he can. But if Rasadegan was a few centimeters behind, that could have ended extremely badly, though. But David Young, meanwhile, from starting in third, he managed to claim the win that he probably should have in the first race, but did so in pretty good fashion. Roy Hazelton, though, despite being off of the back foot in 11th, done really, really good for second, and caught up to about within a second up into the final lap with David Young for second. So very good there for the Swiss driver. Nathan Cal, with his fight with Juho Sapinen, lands the American into third for the time being, and the Sri Lankan of Mark Anthony Rasanego does one of his best performances in the Academy Series thus far for the fourth for the Sri Lankan. Outside of the top four, Juho Sapinen will finish in fifth. It's always there for the Finnish driver. I think he knows it probably could have been a top three, a double podium, but head up, I guess. Haruki Jr. for sixth for him, with Pierre Dorome in seventh, and Yuri Kerkoheville, after his fight with Haruki Jr., can only land a best of 8. Martin Reitzberg, the pole sitter, got involved in an incident, and the best that he can muster was 9th. Still a very good recovery for him. And for those that have retired, Amir Alfi has retired, and then just outside of him, from the top 10 as well, that also DNF'd, is Rando Tenorio and Tom Lafont. 3 DNFs, that is 4 DNFs of the course of the 2 races. Very, very exciting race 1, and equally hectic race 2, I would say, from the midfield pack. And wow, what would you reckon for that, Kurt? Would you reckon this is probably one of the best Academy Series races that you've commentated? Because it's certainly up there with me.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. After all I've seen this season, this might be one of the best races I've commentated so far. Definitely race 1, and can't outline the race 2 as well. Yeah, still very hectic battles and everything, so really nice to see it. Finally, some clean racing at last.
And then with that, swiftly on with the first 2 races and effectively 28 laps of racing here in Magny-Cours concludes for the Academy Series here in Magny-Cours. We're slowly going to be joining back for the interviews. And would you like to do the interviews, or because I'm pretty weak at interviews, to be honest with you.
Me as well, man.
Who did this, Perrin? Thank you, media team. Thank you so much.
Yeah, this is the best duo there was.
Yes, absolutely. Remco de Zeeuw is definitely laughing in the background in agreement. Incredible racing here that we've seen here from the Circuit de Neve Magny-Cours. It proves why it's been a track favorite time in and time out over and over and over again. And with that concludes over for race 2.
So, who will take it? Or we cancel it all?
Nah. You can pick on who you want to interview first.
Okay then. So, let's start with Jerry.
Alrighty.
Hello, Jerry.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
congratulations on your race 1 victory after a very hectic battles in the front. So yeah, you were quite lucky with the contact between. Who were they? I've already forgotten the name.
Hazelton
And Sopanen. So yeah, talk us through about your races. How were they?
Well, again, it confirmed one race I do well, second one I usually messed up or something basically happens. Again, the same thing. Like the first race, actually I started on P7 I think, but I was slowly getting up on the positions. Like but I almost ended up in Spain in I think it's Nürburgring chicane, the first one, where two others was fighting, and I was just right behind them and wanted to just send it.
Yeah,
and when I overtook them, then I was just started slowly. When I stopped doing mistakes, I was slowly catching up to Juho Sopanen and Roy. I don't know what his surname, but I was as they were fighting with David Jan. David Jan later crashed. I don't know what happened there, but I moved up to P3, and then I was catching up slowly until the I think last lap when Juho went wide and Roy just had to slow down, and I just even when I had contact, I just went through it somehow.
definitely.
And race two, it was basically the turn 3, I think it is, the hairpin. I basically went too much on the throttle, and since then it went downhill.
Oh, wow. You've mentioned before that you started the race over in 7th, and being in the midst of that pack and, you know, midway through, it's very hard that we see drives come through to take the win. What would you reckon was your advantage for race 1 and the strategy of tackling for Magny-Cours, would you say, that allowed you to pull this win?
Basically, I found a way how to cut the last chicane because I can brake late into the corner before. Basically, that's where I was gaining the most, I think. On some drivers.
A little bit of discussion over for race 2. You start from 7th and then start from 11th. You've had a bit of it to, like, I reckon, mistakes, I suppose. One through the early stages and one along your battle with Haruki. Would you say without those mistakes that you would have been able to climb up more positions? Because me and Kert were both amazed by how well you were, recovered both mistakes in the end.
Yeah, like basically I have to avoid these mistakes. Like I don't know, I'm trying to learn from them, but I just somehow repeat them like all over. I have to just try to learn them, like what I'm doing wrong. Basically, like sometimes I'm just too aggressive. Sometimes I just go too fast on the throttle.
Yeah. Kert?
No questions from my side.
Do you have having won your first ever race here in the GPVWC ladder? I'm personally curious to know what other goals would you have in mind here in the Academy series or in the future here in GPVWC?
Well, my skills are going in the right direction. I just avoid mistake and maybe I win more races or get more podiums. And then I get to Formula Sprint 2 maybe.
Absolutely. Very massive congratulations though, Yuri, for a race win under your belt, and absolutely do enjoy it, and a remarkable achievement indeed. So be sure to party and have fun.
Yeah, thank you. I had to just rewind the entire race because how you saw it, because that was unbelievable.
All the best, Yuri. Take care.
Yeah, thank you. You too.
So, it's your turn now, Amir.
Oh boy. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, so hello, David.
Hello.
Hello. It's your 6th ever Academy race win. It's your, I think it's your 4th, I believe, second race win. Do say, like, you were really fast right from the get-go. You've set a pole position, one of the quickest drivers to ever tie their lap together. Would you reckon that this race, with Juho and Roy behind, that this was a difficult qualifying session compared to the other previous qualifying sessions here in the Academy Series?
Yeah, it was like, to be honest, I was like, let's see what I can do, and like choose like one of the setup like Lorenzo's. It was kind of fast, but it also, you need stability, you need to lean on it, and at some point, like, it's difficult to get on it because you still lose the rear end if you manage to lift at the wrong point. But when you like said before we were in voice chat, when he said like, I'm sorry, I'll take this pole, and I'm like, well, not so fast. I will have something about this. And then, well, I managed to string that lap together to be ahead of both him and Roy. But like, I saw that Roy, and he himself, I think, also said like he was so close to making that bring that lap together, which he then later on really showed in the races. So I got probably a bit fortunate that I managed to get it together for pole. And well, race 1, I mean, I had a good start, decent one. But I think I've noticed that maybe the downside of the setup is maybe that its straight line speed is not coming on as fast, or the wing setting. I'm not really sure about it. But Roy easily managed to like be on the attacking side, and then then we were like fighting for several laps, like trying to get close, and Juho just managed to like get in the slipstream and be close to us. And then, like, at one point I felt like, so, oh yeah, now I can go down the inside and then outbrake him, then go alongside, something like that. So I think it was rather around the outside. But I will even get it by now, because the next chicane, I'm not sure if I managed to lift off at the wrong point, or, patch the curb a bit too unstraight or something. But I'm absolutely sure nobody hit me. This was just all of me. Suddenly the handling or the downforce at the back was completely gone, and I was already like counter steering, and by that time it was just too late, and even to avoid losing car parts, it was too late. So trundled back to the pits, got it repaired, set some good lap times, and finished 10th. So that was that. And well, if I want to say for race 2, like I mean, Simone didn't come back, so that was one place. And I had a good start getting into second, then followed Martin and managed to outbrake him. And at that point, like at this time, I can already say I'm gonna shill for Roy, because he came past all the guys, and then he was like just about 2 seconds down, and he had so good. I looked at those laps and he did 32.7, 36.6, and then he went to the 5s. So it's like, holy shit, this is like, I have to pre-stream myself against Norris there. And he kept coming closer. And at after the right-hander up the popular chicane, Bosoli or something, there is that slowish right-hand turn. I thought each time Roy's getting 2/10 on me there. And he was really good. I just couldn't get car turned and in a good momentum around that turn. And so we went from like really from like pounding all the laps to below 1, but I just managed to hold it on at the start lap of the last lap. He went too wide under the gravel, and by that time it was like missed it too much to make a last counter attack or get close enough to put one in. But I got to say, that was a really great display by him. So he kept me on my toes all race, and I had to. Like we kept each other both at one of like the best lap times. We were very. I think he was barely ever above 33. I was at times, but we kept each other so focused on driving that we were setting all these great lap times to get away by like 10 seconds from the rest. So I got to hand it to him. That was a really, really exciting race, and I hope it was from the outside was exciting too.
I mean, you effectively explained everything.
Yeah.
You've left me and Kert no questions to ask you. I mean, no, I've got nothing, Kert.
Yeah, laughing.
Oh, future plans. Future plans, because it is your 6th race win. You've set a record now here this year, displaced everyone else, and you're pretty much leading by a country margin in the record. So, do you have any more plans in regards to the academy, or a promotion to FS2 or FS1 potentially?
I mean, like, I'm really old. I was like saying to Menno Klomp before here, he was like asking, do you go to the broadcast room? And I'm like, who wants to listen to some old guy? And then also myself thinking, who wants that Smurfing guy in Academy? Who wants to listen to this stuff? But to be honest, I like Academy, like, depending on life circumstances and such, Academy at times is also, you can just arrive and drive in it, and it has some different tracks than the Cara ladder, like some like Magny-Cours here is also a non-French Grand Prix for this year because we don't have one. So we get to drive some, other tracks that are not on the Cara ladder, so that is also fun. And that was a lot of thinking when I came in and just thought I'm going to drive it and see how the new drivers get on, and we already could see like a few good drivers like Rohtjarv, like Lorenz Turi, like Victor Bernard. There's been so many that are really good, and they already managed to go up the ladder, and it was interesting to see and race with them. And like with Roy, we have another one that is probably on the move soon. But for myself, I don't know, maybe some more FS2 appearances. I mean, of course, I got told by Menno that I'm close to Terence Greff's record. We're like 160 races in FS2, or was it probably a challenge later, earlier on in history. Or I don't know, maybe look if I do an emergency race somewhere, but I'm not the most practicey guy, It's also, that was another circumstances thing, so I'm not racing as much, but yeah, maybe at times we'll see if I'll also do, I don't know, maybe go do some testing in the superlights if it needs to be, but yeah, at the moment I'm just existing.
Definitely, though, been one of your strongest performances in the academy thus far, and surely promotion is overdue for a man of your talents, regardless of age. Congratulations, though, David. Been very exciting to have watched you race, and looking forward to seeing more of your great performances here.
Yeah, thanks again. That was a good night.
Oh no!
Well,
Oh dear! Oh dear! David, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry.
You just killed someone.
I didn't kill someone. I accidentally moved him when he was waiting for an interview. Anyways, next one up on our list is
Yeah, David talked so much, so we'll take a last one because we've streamed for so long already.
We'll do 2 more, and then that's us done. So I'm gonna look over for Yuho though, because he's done pretty good amongst his fight for race 1 and his fight with Nathan Cal for race 2. So he's been effectively an MVP in terms of races, which both ended pretty chaotically, but still a very good performance to him. And we're gonna interview him now. Hello, Yuho. You must be very ecstatic. 2 race wins. How do you feel?
Get Nathan in as well, if you can.
You did absolutely incredible. You were involved in 2 incidents which were not at all your fault, to able to capitalize to that. So please tell us, to the wide range of the GPVWC audience, how you pulled it off.
Power of Zeeuw. Can we get Nathan into this interview room as well?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, what?
Hello, Nathan.
Hi.
As I promised, he would be here. Well, for me it was a pretty good race. It's the power of Zeeuw here, and of course, not much happened really. I could have beat P0 at least, higher position at least. But either way, but jokes aside, me and Hayes had a really good battle. Shame that one of us couldn't finish first, but Honestly, congratulations to Yuri as well. He's a really stunning driver. We've been teammates for a while, good friends also, and I'm really happy to see him win. But yeah, race 2 was going well. Just I don't want to get the crash into the question because either way, it was just a racing incident. Either way, in my opinion. But yeah, a lot of happened.
Ja, you did Remco's work, so see on hyvin vitun päivä.
But yeah, either way, really good 2 races, and I want to say big shout out to Mission 19, and yeah, c'est la mission.
Kert, I'll let you have a question.
Yeah, win was quite close. Again. But last year Belgium came back, so not nice flashback. But yeah, still. Well, can you explain the fight with what was with Hayes? How difficult was it? And now you felt the same as I did a week ago when I had Victor Bernat up my
Yeah, well, aside from a lot of things going on, it was quite tough, and honestly, I was like, I can't say any more swear words, so I'll leave it like this right now.
You have a sensor, no?
Huh? Oh,
you have a sensor.
Yeah. Well, aside of Hayes being up on my, and yeah, it was quite tough. I was stressing out, and of course, I did a little mistake, and that mistake was costly. And honestly, that lost me my second academy win. But a podium's enough for me to, get myself a bottle of champagne, of course. But yeah. And of course, second race, battling with Nathan was really just really tough. He's a really good driver. I respect him, and on the finish line, I got a bit too heated. I hit him, but either way, we got things settled. I wanted to take him here to the commentary box. Either way, he has been really good. Okay, I'm sorry, I can't really speak much. I'm stuttering too much. Like, holy.
Kiitos.
Kiitos.
Nathan, just a better question over from your end. Starting over from, I believe it was the top 5, you were running up as high as 4th, and then suddenly a bit. Can I just say, what happened over from the start that made you drop over down to 10th? Because it seemed to be like a loss in momentum, but then you recovered absolutely brilliantly though, back up to 6th though. So I'm curious how you pulled it off.
Yeah, at the start, it just didn't have a good start. And that loud, I think Mark also passed Brando, who started 4th, and then after that, I just started falling down the field. I just couldn't get into a groove at race 1, and then what dropped me down to P10 was I tried to make a move on Lafont, but then I absolutely messed it up and spun around on the left hairpin, and I think accidents up in front allowed me to catch up to P6, and then yeah. I think Lafont de Rome had one accident, right? Around lap 5 on the first race. And then Tenorio also spun in turn 2.
Yeah, it was a pretty big one.
Yeah.
Kert?
Nothing from my end.
Oh, come on. one question, man.
Well, one question.
Okay.
Well, Nathan, I just will congratulate you on taking you out.
Yeah, thanks.
I do have a question for both Juho and Nathan. Did both of you? Juho obviously clearly had his battle with Roy, so he had a bit of experience like going wheel tour from Magny-Cours. But Nathan, you've never also had a wheel tour battle like that extensive as well with Juho. What were you two both thinking through that battle for P3 for you both?
Juho, you want to go first?
I'll go first. I was like, I want to get a double podium. It would be the biggest achievement in my GPV career. Like, holy, I would have just battled him way harder. But I didn't want to crash into him. Made a bit of contacts, but hey, rubbing is racing either way. But
What?
rubbing is racing. Not the finish line one.
Nathan?
Yeah, I mean, this is I think my third ever R-Factor 2 race. So I didn't think I'd be in a shot for a podium. So I was just pushing as much as I could. And I put him in my best laps when I was trying to run away from Juho, which was impossible, I guess, until at the end. But yeah, I was just pushing way too hard, I think, near the end. But it was fun. That was fun.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
It was enjoyable to follow your battle.
Yeah, it was quite enjoyable from your points of views. Did you guys have your popcorn ready for the drama?
Oh, missed opportunity. No, I would have choked.
I just ate the raw corn.
Oh, and I want to give a public apology to the GPV and broadcast management. I hope I don't get a ban, but I will pay you guys at least 50 euros in fines.
yeah. I want to do the same thing as well. Just apologies to GPV and the broadcast, but yeah, great racing. Great racing, great content.
Yes.
This is what we need.
Okay. Thank you so much, you two. I'll let you both enjoy your making out session or whatever. So have fun.
Oh my god.
Oh, hey, okay.
Okay.
Amir, you're getting cancelled for that one, man.
Come on, you're kissing your mate up. That's what I've learned in sim racing.
Yeah, kissing your mate good night. That's nothing too bad.
Hey. That has been the Magny-Cours. A great return here to the French land of motorsports, which has bring home talents such as Alain Prost, Loic Meunier, and of course the great Alex Lahoe has ironically delivered such a racing classic here. So any closing thoughts for what we've seen here for the first two races and qualifying, Kert, and the interviews?
Yeah, let's keep this content up and clean racing. So yeah, a very enjoyable day from my end. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
I certainly enjoyed it too, and it's going to be very exciting, and especially going to be very exciting for you, the viewers, because coming up through this week, we're going to be heading over to Spa-Francorchamps on Tuesday. The Superlights will make its grand return over to the incredible 7-kilometer Belgium circuit, and then on Thursday, as the fight is still ramping up in the leaderboards for the Super League, it's still holding in the 20th year celebrations as they go through a historic classic that has been around since the very beginning here in Spa-Francorchamps here. That will be at the 29th for Super Light 730 BST and 730 for the 31st of July. It's the last race before August, also at 7:30 BST for the Super League. But also for the big followers here at the Academy, our next race is going to be over at the Hungaroring, which is going to happen and take place over at 2 weeks' time. We're expecting that over at the 4th of August to kickstart, and will be one of the final races actually in the GPVWC ladder, at least before the summer break that we have over in August. But with that, Kurt, any closing thoughts?
I've been an Estonian as always. I haven't changed my nationality or anything. And
He's been a multiple FS2 race winner, Kert Rohtjarv. Big thanks to him for his great analysis and his fantastic commentary. As always, big thank you for Remco to Zeeuw for the broadcast directing, especially for this hectic race. Surely it was not easy for him, and he is currently crying in the background. But until then, we'll see you over in a couple of days. But until then, I've been Amir. See you next time.
Thank you and take care.